my swag and play the fool, babe. Just play the game and hold on, maybe. But I'm done with the waiting, done with the waiting. I'm done with playing nice. Now look me in the eyes. Tell me, tell me, tell me what you see inside. Not gonna ask you twice. Not looking for your lies. Tell me, do you wanna go? Do you wanna go? Do you wanna go? Do you wanna go? Those who wanna play by the rules end up last with nothing to obtain. So let's level up to remain. 'Cause I'm done with the waiting, done with the waiting. I'm done with playing nice. Now look me in the eyes. Tell me, tell me what you see inside. Not gonna ask you twice. Not looking for your lies. Tell me, do you wanna go? 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 I'm riding the wave tonight. Gonna try it while the world's bright. Got room for one if that's alright. That's alright. Do you wanna go? 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 Do you wanna go?
What is going on, my friends? Oh, we're not starting anymore. We're here. We're live. I gotta change my overlay. What is going on, my friends? How are we today? Oh my goodness. I'm trying to just bring it for you guys. I'm trying to bring the energy, trying to have the fun, right? That's what this is all about. So we are here for the weekly live Q&A. So I'm going to answer your questions, whatever questions you have, social media, live video gear, software, the crazy things I'm doing, right? All this stuff. So I know I've got a couple questions. If you could just put a Q in front of your question, that's going to help me find your question in the mix of all the comments. You guys are on fire today. You guys are actually totally ready. You're going to have to bring it after this intro. I'm trying, my friend. I'm trying. We got lots of great music. I actually has kind of been refreshing the playlist a little bit, so we'll have a little bit of music in the background as we're kind of hanging out today. And again, I am coming to you using my favorite application, StreamYard. That's what we're using today. StreamYard is absolutely my favorite app for going live. You can do so many great things with it. So this stream is absolutely powered by StreamYard. I am using StreamYard to display your comments, this little banner at the bottom, this little custom overlay graphic that I have in the stream. That's all because I'm using StreamYard. I'm able to just click, do these things, and I can create really amazing professional live streams. Now, I will let you know that I am not streaming the music via live stream or via StreamYard. I am using a separate application. The countdown timer as well was also a different thing where I've duct taped different applications together, but I'm using StreamYard to stream it all to you. So you can check out all of how I do those things over on the YouTube channel at Melanie Diane. So make sure you check that out. You can subscribe over there where I go live, but I also upload some very helpful tutorial videos from time to time to help you guys do great things with live video as well. So Whitney says, I'm loving StreamYard. That makes me super excited. Very excited to hear that, Whitney. I know that Whitney is doing a lot of live streaming as well, and she's starting to do more and more of it. And I hope that you'll have a lot of fun. So Whitney, StreamYard makes it fun. It is fun to use because you can do some cool stuff. Some really cool stuff. So, so Future Cars Man of Life, he says, I love the video you did with StreamYard, yet to watch. Yeah, so I'm also, you guys are probably going to be sick of me if you're not careful. So I'm also helping StreamYard create content. So I'm actually, they've asked me to help them with some YouTube content, some blog content. Every once in a while, I'm on one of their live shows as a guest. I've been doing a lot of collaborations with Christian and Jim Fuse lately. So there's a podcast episode that came out. It's called Launch Your Live. That's their podcast. It's a fantastic podcast. And we talked about 5 mistakes that you should avoid when it comes to live video. So check that out. Go over to my business page. I posted a link to that so you guys can check it out. So Dr. Stewart, I'm going to butcher it. Is it Buchanan? I'm going to say it wrong anyway because I'm not Scottish. I have Scottish blood in me, but I'm not going to say that correct. So what's up? He is watching from Scotland. Hello, hello, hello. I see your question, Dr. Stewart. I will absolutely tell you how I did the intro. I keep saying this every week. I'm going to make a video step by step on how I do that because it is a little bit tricky. But once you know the step by step, you can do it too. So, okay. You guys, I want you to post your questions in the comments. So any questions you have about marketing, live video, gear, stuff. But I want to also talk to you about a few things that I've got that I actually want to talk about something. I posted a post on my personal profile today, and I have gotten a very interesting response from people. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, and I want to get your thoughts too and your feedback as well. So, okay, so let me check out. Let's see. Yeah, so Future Cars Man of Life. He's like being my moderator right now. You're hired, right? You're hired. So, okay. I will let you know, though, Dr. Stewart, there is a step-by-step and there's multiple applications I'm using. So, okay. Great question, Derek. I see that as well. So, all right. Let me check out. Okay. Crystal, if you're watching, do me a favor. And I'm going to have you help me out over on the tube, Crystal. Help me out over on the tube. If you see anything sketchy, let me know. Let me know. All right, let me check this out. I'm going to scroll back. As I was dancing and when I had the shades on, it actually made it a little harder to read your comments. There's a smudge on there. Woo! But as I was dancing, it's hard to see comments when I'm moving around. So I definitely want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Now, Future Cars Man of Life wanted to know about my shirt. So my shirt is actually, it says, living the dream. So I haven't actually worn this shirt in forever. I'm not even sure why. Do you guys ever in your closet, you have your go-to spot of the closet, and then there's the other part of the closet that's the every once in a while, but every once in a while one of your go-tos gets stuck in the every once in a while section. Totally what happened with this shirt. So I have one of those this has nothing to do with marketing or anything, but I'm going to share it with you guys, right? So I have one of those closets where the doors are they go like this. So I can only have half the closet visible at once. And so it's usually this half. And then that half is the out of sight, out of mind, every once in a while stuff. This shirt was tucked back in there. So I didn't see it. And I saw it and I was like, oh, I haven't worn that in a while. So I'm busting that out. All right. So let me take, oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. All right, cool. Derek's got some great questions, but I want to jump up. I am going to... Crystal says, I literally have 5 shirts in rotation. That is so funny and so common. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you guys about something. So I posted on my personal page today because it's something I've talked about before, but it also seems to be something that still comes up, meaning people are still battling this. And what it is you may be on YouTube, you may be on Facebook, you may have a business page, you may have a Facebook group. So for example, we right now are multi-streaming. So I am live over on YouTube, I'm live on my business page, and I'm live inside my private Facebook group. And honestly, prior to using StreamYard that allows me to multi-stream to all destinations at the same time, I can see all your comments in here in the one place. It's fantastic. Prior to using that application, one of the areas where I was struggling was my time. I was like, oh my God, I want to take care of my Facebook group, DIY Marketing with Melanie, which is, by the way, if you're not in there, you need to come hang out with us and join us over there. But it's a free group, open community. And I literally was like, okay, I want to do my live Q&As in here. But then it was like time. I was having a hard time keeping up with going live on my page too. I'm a firm believer that you cannot abandon the storefront of your business, and your Facebook business page is your virtual storefront. It's one of your virtual storefronts, right? And so in YouTube, it could be the same way, right? And so, but I wanted to make sure I took care of my Facebook community. When I multi-stream, I'm able to produce this content everywhere. The reason why this is important is because your Facebook community is the inside of your store, the inside. No one's going to come inside if it looks closed on the outside. And if you're not publishing content, you look closed. That's the point. So kind of similarly, I was also doing some research on, I'm not going to say what the business is just because it's pointless, but I was looking up places. There are like 5 or 6 places to choose from in my community for this particular service. And one, I wasn't even sure if they were all open because a lot of these places have closed due to pandemic, whatnot. And I'm like looking at them and I'm like, okay, going on social. I want to see what it's like inside because the inside of these places kind of matters. You don't want to walk in and it's like, ooh, a little sketchy. Like it's not that kind of business where that doesn't matter. It matters. So I was like, I kind of want to see some pictures inside of these places. I've never been in them. So I'm like, I'll go to their socials, right? Well, there's like 3 of them that I finally kind of narrowed it down to. One of them hadn't posted since like August of 2020. And I actually know that they're open because somebody told me that they were open. So it's not that they're closed because of the pandemic. They're open. They haven't posted since August of 2020. Then there's this other business that's not as popular or well known, so to say, but they're posting all the time. Now, their posts aren't great. Like they're actually not the greatest posts. The pictures are kind of subpar. The content itself is really not necessarily overly helpful. It's more promotional, meaning salesy. It's a little overly salesy in the the mix of it all. However, I'm literally like, where am I gonna spend my time to try? Not the place that hasn't posted since August of 2020. And by the way, looking back at the history of their social publishing, there's like no content there. I cannot get a feel. I can't get a preview. I can't get a feel for what it's going to be like. I'm not going to drive across town and give that place a chance when the other place, I can get a feel for what it's like. I'm already envisioning myself inside because I see pictures inside. Your social content is important. And so I posted this today and I basically said, like, let me give you this scenario. Which place would you choose? The response is very interesting. So it's very interesting. There's a lot of people that say their social media doesn't matter to them. They don't really care. They don't really pay attention to it. Doesn't really have a factor in their decision-making process. Other people said that it matters and that it makes it feel like the business is closed if they haven't published content in a while. The other one said, especially because of the pandemic, I would assume that they're closed. And then other people were saying that it feels like they aren't fully dedicated to their business. But the mix was interesting. I'd say it's like 60, 40, 70, 30. And that majority of the people, it matters to them, right? Other people said it didn't. Now, I also think that there's multiple scenarios here, right? Like there's different businesses where the social content isn't maybe going to be as important to you. You may not even look at their social media platform, right? So this person says their social channels don't matter to me when choosing, but their website and updated menu does. That was actually posted by more than one person. They're like, I don't really look at the social, but the website matters. Okay. Either way, you have to look at your marketing and your digital presence as a storefront. No one's going to want to come inside and talk to you and ask you questions or give you a chance until they can see the outside. Somebody actually said, the social media should not have any factor on the quality of the food. Why does social media presence matter? I'm like, well, you haven't tasted the food yet because you've not walked in yet. Would you go into the place if it was like that? That's the question. You have 2 choices. This place is active on social. This place is never active on social. Same type of restaurant, same type of food, both recommended by friends. Which one are you going to go to? I'm going to say the majority of the people are going to go to the one that has more content if they're looking at that. So, you haven't tried the food yet. Now, granted, once you eat the food and you love it, yeah, you're not going to care. Social media does not matter once you actually are in love. Once you're an advocate, once you're there at the bottom of that marketing funnel, the marketing content isn't there. That's marketing content's not for you, right? You're a lifer. Now, it's going to keep you nurtured, but it's not necessarily for you. So, soapbox. the comments are still coming. The comments are still coming on that post. But I was curious what your guys' thoughts were on that. Really interesting. You know what I mean? Crystal says that's a good metaphor. Yeah, I mean, literally. I always use this metaphor. I'm going to change my brand up here so that I am not covering my face as I'm talking to you. I'm also going to move back a little bit. I think I'm going to step back. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot this. Have you guys noticed? I know I'm standing today, but I'm using a different lens. So I have a different lens today. This is the Sigma lens. This is the badass lens that is highly recommended. I finally went and bought it on Friday. Went and got it Friday. Had to go drive about an hour to pick it up. And I love it. I'm so in love with it. There's 2 reasons I love it. It blurs the background more. And 2, I'm able to turn the ISO down on my camera. So the ISO actually affects the quality. It's the light effect. So if you are in a dark room and you're like, I just can't get this bright enough, you can turn your ISO up. It's going to actually do it mechanically in the camera. Now, what that does, though, is it actually can make your quality a little bit grainier. Okay, so webcams have very high ISOs in them. That's why they don't require a ton of light. They have a lot of high ISO, but that's also why they have a grainy look. My ISO on the camera before I put this lens on was at like 2000, 2200. I think today I have it at like 250. And so it's like awesome. The lens is built for low light. So it also is allowing me to bring in the beautiful colors that I like to stream with. Okay, so I'm going to switch things up here a little bit. I'm going to take that background crazy thing off. Just going to have a little fun here. So, okay. So I had to tell you that. I forgot to tell you, but this camera blurs the background even more. So like if I get close, it's even blurrier. But I can also hang out back here a little bit more, and it's pretty exciting. So I am ticklish. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to block that guy. Whatever. So you have to be careful when you're streaming to YouTube. There's a lot of crazies out there. There are some crazies out there. And for whatever reason, I feel like that when one crazy comes to my stream, there's like a flood of them. So now we got to be on like alert. So whatever. Okay. Let's get to some questions. I think I got through all the stuff I wanted to tell you about. Yeah. So, no, I told you about that last week. So I got to give a shout out to Pokegal. So Pokegal is in my Facebook group. And she posted the cutest little testimonial and was saying that she's gotten a lot of help out of the group. She's been learning a lot from everybody. And I just wanted to make sure that you all knew you should join us over there. So it's called DIY Marketing with Melanie. It's on Facebook. It's a free community for DIY marketers. It's not for trolls. It's not for crazies. But if you are in business and you're trying to excel in your marketing and learn more, but you're doing it DIY style, then this group is 100% for you. So we have a lot of fun in there. I'm live in there right now, but I go live other times. In fact, my DIYers got to see the camera lens Friday right after I hooked it up because I went live. I was so excited about it. So I do a lot of those kind of impromptu things over there. So, all right, let's get to your questions. Okay, so Future Cars Man of Life is asking a question about music. So I'm using Epidemic Sound. What you're hearing is Epidemic Sound, but at the same time, if you're a Canva user, oops, that's not where we want to be. If you're a Canva user, then you may have access to music. So you can actually, if you create a video, you can add music to your videos. Now there's free music and there's pro music. I think all of the music right now, is coming. It's actually hosted by Epidemic Sound. So Canva and Epidemic Sound kind of came into an agreement with each other, and the very, 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 very tiny segment of music from Epidemic Sound is also inside of the Canva account in Canva. So granted, you're not getting access to the entire library, but you are getting access to some songs. So if you don't have an Epidemic Sound subscription, which is a huge library of sound, music, sound effects, all kinds of stuff for video creators, for podcasters, for all kinds of stuff. Music people. You can use it to like produce your own music. If you don't have an Epidemic Sound contract, if you're not doing those things, you don't need one. Then you can have, still have access to using this music, some of this music in Canva. And Arms of Gold is one of those songs that's in there. I'll play it for you really fast so that we know what he's talking about. So this is Arms of Gold. So that is Arms of Gold, okay? And what that is it's a song that's also in Canva. So previously to me doing my countdown timers the way I did, which we'll get to in a second because somebody asked that question, that is one of the songs you can choose from. So my countdown timers before, a lot of times I had that song as my song for my countdown timer. And so are there other songs related to Arms of Gold that you know? Let me just show you very quickly. Let me go back to Arms of Gold. I will show you one of the things I love about Epidemic Sound. All right, hold on a second because I gotta do something funky here. We're gonna share my screen. Here we go. Okay, this is Epidemic Sound. One of the things that's super cool, so this is my playlist that I created to play these songs, right? When you're playing a song, then you can, hold on, let me remove his comment so you guys can actually see what I'm about to do here. Okay, so down at the bottom, down here, here's the song. You can go way over here and find similar, and you can actually, Epidemic Sound is going to tell you, okay, here's the singer. So a lot of times the way I find other songs that I like is actually the singer, not necessarily the producer. So Mia is the singer of this one, but it's going to pull in other music that they recommend. If you like this song, you'll probably like these. So, I mean, that's actually the other thing. So so you can search for any of this stuff in Canva if they have it. But I mean, Emmy is another one I like. The artist EMMI, I like her a lot. So, I can't really specifically go into detail, but if you're using Epidemic Sound, you can totally do find similar. Canva doesn't have that kind of search function, but you know, maybe they will someday. I don't know. But anyway, okay, so that was a good question. Wanted to answer that one, but there's some great, you guys have some really good questions I'm going to get to here in a second. So let me scroll on down. La 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 la. Okay. I can't wait for StreamYard, though, to do a little bit of an easier thing, which is lets me flag comments. They did their town hall on Sunday night, and somebody talked about pinning comments. Like, can you pin comments, save them for later? And they said it's in the roadmap. Yes! Oh my gosh, because what that means is I can actually pin your questions as you post them and then just go back and find them really fast instead of scrolling down. So if I miss your question, so like if this question was posted after yours and I didn't get to your question yet, ask it again with a Q in front of it. All right, how do you do your intro? Real fast, this is how I do the intro. I do have a YouTube video about this where I talk about exactly doing this. It's called Transparent Countdown Timers with OBS and StreamYard. So Dr. Stewart, go check that out. But really quickly, I will let you guys know I'm using a combination of OBS and Epidemic Sound music and StreamYard. And so what I've done is in OBS, I can customize the look and feel of what we're doing here because that is what you're seeing. What you're seeing is what I am basically designed in OBS. And so OBS is, of course, open broadcast software. There's a fader that you can select. So I actually have a countdown video that I start with, and then in the next scene, I put myself in it. Let me do it this way. Countdown timer, and then the next scene. And what I do is I fade myself in about 3/4 of the way in, which puts me as transparent. So that's what happens there. I can actually do it again right here. So I'm fading myself in, and I'm pumping music to the stream using a virtual audio mixer called Wavelink. That is because I have the Elgato Wave 3 microphone, which comes with that Wavelink software that lets me do it. I'm not going to go into detail because I do almost every week because this question comes up. Go check out that YouTube video right now. It's just a live one that I did, but stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to my channel because I am going to be doing an actual tutorial and breaking it all down on the entire thing. But that's a great question. It does come up all the time. All right. Let me take a look for the next question. Derek says, what does your current email marketing game look like? Bad. How's that for an honest answer? It's bad. I do not email my list enough. I get caught up in everything else. Oh, it's something I need to get better at. I truly do need to get better at it. And that's just one of the things. Now, I will tell you that the last email I sent, so I do videos in my emails. I like to send videos in my emails instead of just worded emails. And so in my last email, I did a video and I basically said, you guys, I have sucked at the emails I'm so sorry. If you really want to come hang out with me and know what's going on every week, you need to go join my live videos that I do every week, Tuesdays at 2 o'clock Eastern time. So it's kind of like my little, let me get better at this. I'm just one human. I'm one person. I am a solo show here. I'm a solopreneur. There's nobody else helping me with my business right now. I am doing it all, which you all can understand and relate to, right? Well, Derek can't. Derek's got a team. He works for a bigger company. So my email game kind of sucks right now, but it's on my mind every day and sometimes in the middle of the night at about 3 a.m. or so. So yeah, there you go. I do believe in emails every week. I just, right now, trying to keep up, right? Okay, so he says, follow-up question. Of all the things you're doing right now, which particular efforts are you getting the most return from? This, live streaming, 100%. So I have a podcast as well. By the way, you guys, I have a podcast in case you didn't know. But I absolutely feel the most connection and the most interaction here. I also feel like you connect with me the most right here. And so I honestly believe this is actually making the biggest impact. However, with that being said, I will tell you that I will say YouTube and my podcast are part of that grand plan or grand scheme of things. Because I know that because my Facebook group, one of the questions I ask in that you have to answer 3 questions is, how did you find out about this group? I can't tell you, so often the answers are your podcast or YouTube. And so people are starting to find me over on YouTube because YouTube is a search engine. I am now publishing more content on YouTube because I'm doing these live videos. All these live videos go on YouTube. I'm also publishing more tutorial videos on YouTube as well. And because of that, I'm starting to grow an audience over there, and my videos are showing up in search. And in those videos, a lot of times, especially if they're watching a replay of a live video, I'm talking about my Facebook group. And so people are learning about the Facebook group from the YouTube channel. So that's a lead generation because I want people in my Facebook community, because that's where I really truly get to know my audience the best, is inside my Facebook group. But the other thing is the podcast. And I know my girl Crystal Profit here, she's going to love this answer. She's a podcasting expert. She has a book. She's got a book about it. How to start a binge-worthy podcast. It's amazing, you guys. So she's a published author. One of my friends is a published author. It's amazing. So literally, the podcast, though, is the same thing. People find my podcast. People I do not know. The most strangers in my world come from listening to my podcast, meaning people that are not, they didn't hear about the podcast through me or whatever, or in my circle. They are literally like, they've never heard of me in their life. Somehow they found my podcast. They listened to some episodes. They liked it. They heard about my group because I talk about my group in a lot of those episodes, and they came and joined my Facebook group. So that's also working. But when it comes to truly actually making deeper connections and, in my opinion, making an impact, it's these live videos. The live videos are 100% making the biggest difference, because even if somebody listens to a podcast, joins my group, if I'm not doing live videos, they're kind of done. It kind of falls flat for them, right? Now they can keep listening to the podcast, sure. But when it comes to really getting to know my audience, which is what I'm trying to do, so that I can continue to know what questions you guys have, so I can create content that helps you in your businesses. For example, how do I make that cool countdown? Great, I'm going to make a video because it gets asked every single time I use it. So I'm going to make a tutorial video so that you all can do the same thing, right? So that's kind of, that's why I love the live video, right? Okay. Next question. I saw some more questions for sure. Okay. All right. So Future Cars Man of Life says, question, Melanie, so I can download music from YouTube, copyright or not, but now I found the website that you can use vocals from instruments. Yeah, I do not know exactly what your question is. I will say this, you can use music from YouTube as long as it's the copyright-free version. However, you need to make sure that you're allowed to use that music on other social platforms, because YouTube does provide a music library, but I believe it is intended to be used for YouTube, but I'm not 100% sure. I know that Crystal's been researching this too. She's been actually making sure, she's trying to work on making sure she doesn't get strikes. For whatever reason, she's actually had a few strikes, even though she's using music that she has rights to use. That does happen. In fact, I think it's more common on Facebook than it is on YouTube, but she's dealing with it on YouTube for whatever reason. So we've been talking about this too. Okay, now my question is, will the vocals or the instruments be caught even with copyright? Probably. I would say yes, because they have this technology. I don't know the answer fully. Future Cars Man of Life, I really, truly can't give you that full answer. Kirk Nugent is who you probably need to follow and ask him. If he does live Q&As, ask Kirk, because Kirk actually he's more of an expert in this area than I am, for sure. So, and I think that you may follow him. here's the deal. They use technology to find the songs. They use technology. It's hard to describe, but like they know the wavelengths and all the stuff and the way the notes are. And they use technology to basically search, is anyone using this? Is anyone using these wave sounds, these audio files? And they can find it. And the vocals and the instruments are absolutely part of that. So I definitely think that you could get busted for that. So you have to be careful. Woo, we got lots of questions. Lots of questions. Okay, we're going to have some fun, and I'm going to stick around as long as I need to. Okay, let me scroll up because something jumped ahead. I got to give a shout out to Connie. Connie's here. What's up, Connie? Glad you're catching me live. It's fantastic. Okay, all right. So Derek says, what about reviews? That is more important to me than social media posts. So this is a great question. In fact, Derek, if you guys didn't catch it, Derek was on my show, 3-4 weeks ago. We did an awesome show. He talked about getting Google reviews. He works for a business, Driver Solutions, and he's been trying to get reviews. And he's been like, the chart was like, every once in a while they get reviews, every once in a while. Then all of a sudden he started applying some different strategies, and boom, he's gotten a lot more reviews, which are very important. They are extremely important in local business. You go to your phone, especially if you are in a business where somebody's going to search on mobile, they're going to get a search and they're going to see a review pop up right in the results. And you're going to want to make sure you have good reviews. So it depends. This is very industry focused, industry specific. I have to say never, but in my world right now, Facebook reviews, Google reviews are really not as important. They just aren't. It's just a different type of business. If you're a service-based business, if you're a plumber and you have a 1 star because you have all these bad reviews, nobody's going to call you. It absolutely matters, right? Restaurants, if you have terrible reviews, no one's going to want to come in there. Products, if everybody says this product sucks, no one's going to want to buy it. Reviews do matter, and I do think that that is absolutely part of the research process that people go through. And I 100% think that it depends on the business that you're in. On my posts on my page, there are a lot of people that said they will look at reviews as well. So it is absolutely important. But you guys, if you want to hear Derek's strategies, the name is eluding me at this moment. It was like 5 P's to perfect reviews or something. Go check it out. Like the replays on my YouTube channel, it's in the playlist, which is like marketing strategies and masterclasses. So that's a super great thing. It's very punchy. It's not like most of my live streams. It was almost like literally like a masterclass. So go check that out. It was really great. Super blessed that Derek did that for us. Denise says, question, which camera do you use again? So Denise, it changed. So, it changed the configuration. So I am currently using a Sony a6100. That camera is plugged into, it has an HDMI cord. By the way, after this live stream is done, the description will be updated. I will have links to my equipment. I am working on a PDF guide that I'm going to be sharing with you guys that you can have, that is going to be basically like, hey, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, here's the equipment that I recommend to be if you're in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So you'll have links to all the awesome stuff that I use, but also other tools and things that are going to make your live videos amazing. So the Sony a6100, I'm using an HDMI micro to HDMI cable plugged into a Cam Link capture card, which is plugged into the computer. That is how my computer is able to recognize my camera as a webcam without downgrading my quality. I am currently using the Sigma 16 millimeter 1.4 f-stop lens. I know that's a mouthful. The Sigma 16 millimeter, it's made for E-mount cameras like the Sony a6100, which gives me this blurrier background. If you look at this video compared to my previous ones, you guys, the background is not as blurry. Now, if I had more depth behind me, even more depth, which I don't have a lot, that is about 4.5 feet behind me, 5 feet behind me. It would be, if I had more depth, it would be even more blurry. It would be amazing, it'd be awesome. So, but this camera also allows for low light. I can actually have, a lower ISO, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video. So, great question though. Oh, Pokegal's back. Hi, Pokegal, you're back. I'm glad you're back. I was giving you a shout out earlier, sister. Okay. Is it the stream? Or the stream a bit blurry? The background is blurry because I changed my lens. Yeah, I changed my lens. Yep. Okay, cool. She's like, I just had to change settings. Oh, she had to change the settings. Yeah. Did you guys know that if you're watching, especially on YouTube, there's a little gearbox down at the bottom and you can click the resolution that you watch in. And it's going to a lot of times start you. It's going to start you on the low resolution. So if you want to watch me in higher quality, you have to sometimes change that. So, okay, let me see here. All right. So question, PokeGal says, I played background music and there was an echo. How do I fix that? Screen share. Background music. There was an echo with the screen share. Interesting. Tell you what, PokeGal, will you post that in the DIY group? Let's troubleshoot this. Because if it's a screen share, there shouldn't be... Okay, here's why it could have echoed. Sorry, I actually think I already know the answer. If you're playing the music in your speakers, right? And you have your microphone and you go to share audio, okay? You go to share the audio from your screen. Like if you're playing Epidemic Sound and you want to share audio from there and share it into your stream, you would share screen and checkbox share audio, right? And if you do that, it's going to actually push the sound from your whatever you're sharing, okay? But if you're also playing that music through the speakers of your computer, that your microphone is going to also capture that audio playing from the speakers. And it's probably going to capture it a tiny millisecond after the browser that you're sharing. So that will create an echo. So if you are ever integrating sound into a stream, you want to wear headphones. I am wearing headphones. People ask me all the time about these headphones. I will also be including that in the equipment list and a link. You always want to wear headphones if you are playing music or incorporating any sound whatsoever. If you're playing a video, if you have a guest on your stream and they're talking, you want to wear headphones because of the exact same thing that I just described is going to happen. You're going to hear your viewers are going to hear the audio, but then your mic is going to pick up the audio too, which is going to create that echo. So that's probably what happened. Almost for certain that's what happened. So, okay. So Connie says, I have a question about Facebook pages. I have an existing Facebook page for years for crafty stuff that I've created. I have a few hundred followers there. Is there any problem with shifting that page to a different endeavor name, or should I just start fresh? That's an interesting question. So here's what I would say, Connie, if the audience of this page is still your target audience, and if the old topic is also of interest and the new topic is of interest to that audience, then I would say you just want to shift. However, if you do not want to you don't want to sit there and say like, oh, this page has all these followers and I used to sell paint, and then over here, but now I don't sell paint anymore, I sell doorknobs, right? Yeah, they're both in the realm of home improvement, but do the people who wanted all the custom paint to paint furniture, do they really care about doorknobs, right? Yes, they care about improving their home, but do they really care about doorknobs? You've got to be really careful when you do a bait and switch. So it will be a bait and switch unless they care about the same stuff. So the reason I say this is because if you have all these followers and they're not engaging with you, that can sometimes hurt you in the algorithm. With that being said, it is difficult to start from scratch, of course, as well. So you can do one of two things. If it's the same target audience, right, and they are going to be the people interested, what they were interested in is they're also going to be interested in your new stuff, then I would just change and switch, okay? However, if there's that disconnect, then what you want to do is you want to start your new page, and then you want to make sure you post on the old page and say, hey, come over here, come over here, come over here, come over here, come over here. Do it all the time. Change your cover photo and say, I've moved my focus. Come follow this page over here. You want to put everything over there. Same reason. It's kind of like this business is now closed, or we've moved. I've moved. If you want to follow Connie has changed jobs, right? And so they come in and you haven't posted since August of 2020, but that post of August 2020 says I've moved, right? So you want to redirect them. That's what I would recommend. I do think that there's probably other strategies there. There absolutely could be other things I'm maybe not thinking of. I know I've got some other people here in the comments. Andrea, for example, who is the next question, also very smart with social media stuff. So Andrea, if there's anything I said that is like bad, it's going to steer her in the wrong direction, please let me know. Okay, quick, fast break. Not a break, but I got to check something because I got a call from my kid's school. So, okay, got it. Okay, definitely going to have to check on that we're going to have to close this one down at 3:00 because I gotta deal with that. It's a real legit voicemail. All right. So she says, so I tried getting my Facebook group engaged again, but it just didn't happen. I'm closing it down. Do you think I can just get more people watching my Facebook business page? I get more engagement there, or do I have to have a group? Man, this is a really good question. Andrea, I would want to know, what did you do to try to restart the engine of the group? Also, sometimes you have to be patient. This group, the group that I have, DIY Marketing with Melanie, has absolutely had ebbs and flows, right? There's been times when it's on fire, everybody's in there, lots of action. Then there's been times when it's been really, really quiet. And I will be honest with you, times when it gets fairly quiet and stays kind of quiet is when I'm not active. But the more active I am and the more consistently I'm active, the slowly the engine fires back up. I will also tell you this, people come and go. They come in and out of being engaged. I know Whitney, so I'll just say here, Whitney, who was commenting earlier, she's been kind of in and out. It depends on what's going on in their lives, right? And so sometimes people have an interest and then they go away for a while, but then they may come back. So that does happen in groups. Starting from scratch is not necessarily going to fix your issue. Here's what maybe, this is the only time I would say you want to start over. Starting a group over would be if, kind of similar to Connie, the audience is they're not the right audience anymore. You were once talking about all these one things and then you changed, you completely shifted, and now you don't talk about the thing that all those original people cared about. If that's the case, then you may want to go ahead and consider shutting that group down and starting a new group with your new focus. Now, you don't have to do that right away. Back to your question is, do you have to have a group? I do think that groups are where you have the most communication. Again, I'm going to go back to that scenario of if you have a store and it's on Main Street, the front of your store is like, your Facebook business page is like the front of the store. You can put things in the windows. You can even like have an app where they can buy from you and stuff, right? But if they really want to get to know Andrea, you're standing out on the sidewalk talking to them. Don't you want to invite them in? Don't you want to bring them inside and let them kind of hang out with you for a while? Maybe even sit down and chat with you while you talk about whatever it is you do. Maybe you want to have some exclusive stuff, like maybe some special sales. Maybe you only have so much inventory of things that come in, and you want to make sure your best customers, your VIPers, your most connected people, they get access first. They're going to feel special if you do that. A Facebook group is how you can do that. And so again, I believe in Facebook groups and business pages working together. The Facebook business page is the storefront. The Facebook group is for your community, the community you're building. And that's where most of your conversation is going to happen. The other thing I'll say is that typically inside of a group, people feel safer to post questions to you, to ask questions. They have, challenges, or they want to share things. They're not going to do that on your Facebook page wall, because you know why? That Facebook page wall is no different than if you put a bulletin board on the outside of your store. People aren't going to come and post stuff there. Really, they're just not. They don't feel connected to you by just, hey, I have a question for Melanie. I'm going to post a post-it note on the front door. Maybe she'll get to it. Not going to happen. But if they can walk inside and ask you a question, bam, they're going to ask you a question. So I do believe in pages and groups. Question: how do you think someone can get the most benefit out of being in a Facebook group? Being engaged. I think that there are a lot of lurkers. I have a lot of lurkers in my group. We're over, I don't even know where we are now. We're well over 600, I think. You can have a lot of lurkers in there. They're going to hang out. They're going to watch. In fact, I hear it all the time. People say, I love your videos in your group. I'm like, oh, really? I didn't even know you were in there, because you never post, you never comment, right? Like, there are people in there, they're watching, they're engaging, they're consuming the content, but I don't necessarily know that because they're not commenting or engaging. Now, that doesn't mean they're not getting value out of it, but to get your specific stuff, for example, PokeGal. I know that PokeGal's been working on improving her streams. She's, been asking questions. I kind of know where she is in her journey. There's a woman, Denise. I know that Denise quit her 9-to-5 job about a month ago, right? I know that she's planning to go big this year because she is all in. She burnt the boats. I know that because she's in my community and she's posting stuff, right? Also, she and I are in another community together. She's posting stuff. I'm getting to know her because she's posting. The reason why Crystal Profit and Heather Sager are my two business besties is because we were all posting in groups, and then you're able to get to know people and find your people. So I do think that to get the most out of being in a group, you should be part of the group. Don't be a wallflower. Be engaged, whether it be asking questions, commenting on stuff, helping other people. That's how it's community. It's meant to be a club. It's a community. You wouldn't go show up I mean, maybe you would. I don't know. I mean, not being engaged in a Facebook community is like going to the same bar every single Friday, never talking to anybody, sitting in the corner of the bar, ordering the same beer every time, watching everybody else consume beer, watching everybody else do what they do, listening to the bartender have conversations, and you sitting in the corner, never saying one word, never looking anyone in the eye, never saying hi, and you do it every single time. That's what it's like to be in a group and not be engaged. It's meant to be social. It's meant to be a community. Right? Now, it doesn't mean you have to be that way right away. You might need to feel it out a little bit and kind of get your bearings. That's fine. But you definitely have to be engaged if you want to get the most out of it, for sure. Okay. It's a big one. Yes. Okay. So are you aware of a countdown/timer to use? For example, I do a lot of online consults and sometimes can't get people to end the session. So it depends on an online count. There's like YouTube videos that are literally just a countdown video. There's that. It depends on how long you need it. One thing I will tell you is that on Inside StreamYard, one of the cool things you can do, as I switch gears here to pull this up, you can also, that was fun. It actually changed it. You can also upload a GIF to the logo section if you're a pro user. So the logo, if you're not a pro user, this is what your streams are always going to look like right here. That will never go away. But if you're a pro user, you can upload your own logo like this, right? But you can also upload a GIF. Now, as long as it's not over 3 megabytes, and GIFs can't be more than 60 seconds. So you can also create a countdown timer GIF. And if you say, all right, rapid fire, or we're reaching the end. We've got 60 seconds left. Like if I'm streaming and I need somebody to start being quiet, I could be like, oh, okay, we're at the 60-second mark. Okay, we've got a countdown going. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. That makes it a little less awkward when you're like, time's up. Like, shut up, right? So having a timer definitely helps. You can also, it just depends on where you're doing all this and how you're doing it. But there are some, timers on YouTube. Go check those out. It depends on how long you need it to be, right? So that's what I wanted to say, right? Billy's here. Hello, Billy. That's the first comment I saw from you. Hopefully, if you were commenting before, I may have missed it. So, Billy is one of our regulars, right? He's one of our lifers. He's also growing his, financial consulting business. I know this because he's engaged, like we were saying earlier, for groups, right? All right, let me see. Okay, Andrea says, can you give a percentage of how many you think come from YouTube versus your podcast? Ooh, this is a guess because I am not currently tracking that. Now, just so you guys know, Facebook group, you can gate people. By making them answer questions. I absolutely gate people. In fact, today I literally I'm like, okay, I'm turning these off. I will let people sit there for about a month because sometimes people join a group and they don't realize that there were questions they needed to answer. I don't let just anyone in the group. I don't want just anyone in the group because I want to make sure that I'm fostering a good, healthy community. And so I make sure, because sometimes these people are trolls. Sometimes I will literally I'll kind of go look at their profile and I can tell they're not going to be a good fit for the community, and I will decline them and I'll send them a DM. But then there's a lot of people that just don't answer the questions. They don't get in either unless I just know of them. Like, I let some people in there. I'll give them a week or so and I'm like, hey, all right, I'll let you in because I know you. But for the most part, I ask questions. Now what happens is unfortunately, Facebook does not track the answers. I wish they did. In fact, everybody wishes they did. But you can manually track this. So I could manually be like, oh, there's another podcast one. Oh, there's another YouTube one. Oh, there's another one here. And I could track it. I'm not doing that right now because, quite frankly, I just don't have the capacity or the energy or the time to manually do something like that. But if I were to give you a guess, this has changed. Now, I would say recently, I'm getting more people from my YouTube channel. But Andrea, I'm actually creating more consistent videos than I am my podcast. Right now, my podcast it's absolutely something I believe in and want to do. You should be doing a podcast every week, 100%. I am not right now. So that is probably one of the reasons why the shift went from here to here. So it used to be podcast, but I also wasn't really creating YouTube videos. Now I'm creating YouTube videos a little bit more consistently than the podcast. And so therefore, what do you know? People are coming from YouTube. So I do think that that's part of the reason why. To be totally honest, if I were doing both, I honestly think it'd be about 50-50. I truly think it'd be about 50-50. The other way I'm getting people in my audience right now is through collaborations, guesting, being a guest on other people's shows, being a guest in other people's content. They're hearing about me, and and they're basically, usually when you're a guest in somebody's stuff, they'll say, hey, how can people follow you? How can they learn more from you? I pretty much always say, go to my website. You can find everything there. But if you want to hang out with me a lot, come join my Facebook group. So that's the call to action I usually give people when I'm a guest. So that's the other way that I'm getting people into my stuff. So, okay. Laura said she has 700 followers and 100 on Instagram now. Great. Oh, now I see Laura's face. I didn't see Laura's face earlier. Amanda's here. Great tips for headphones. I'm a professional online teacher. I wear headphones in every class. Yes, Amanda does. And I love Amanda because, so Amanda also wears her headphones and the little microphone in all her little like course videos and stuff, but she also takes a lot of pictures with all that on. I freaking love that. I love it. It's like part of her, it's her brand. And I think that's so awesome. Okay, I may scroll back up and grab a few more questions here. I saw some more. I think I saw a couple more questions. Chris is pointing out, Billy, I see you change your profile pic to a close-up. He did that like 2 days after we did that stream. My friend Brittany Binion came on and we talked about the importance of your profile picture, and it was really funny. He literally changed it like 2 days later and wanted feedback on it. Okay, let me check. Yeah, Billy says he got new headphones. He was wanting those headphones too. Okay, let's see. Ooh, I do not know who this person is because they're coming from my group and they did not select the, authenticate. So I'm not sure who it is, but the Sony ZV-1 is an awesome camera. Crystal Profit just got hers and it's an awesome camera. Crystal is one of my girls. If you want to learn about podcasting, you guys need to go check out Crystal. She just started streaming with her ZV-1 and her streams are like, they look so good. I love it. Okay, let me check. Got time for a couple more questions, and then I got to figure out what's going on with my kid. Okay, Farmer Brad's here. Hey, Farmer Brad. Also another member of the DIY marketing group, just so you know. Farmer Brad says, can StreamYard record locally without broadcasting live? I'm wanting 2 people on screen for an interview, but I want to edit it down live before uploading. Yes. Now, caveat, they actually record to the cloud. So they're going to record to the StreamYard database, and then you can download it from there. So you have a couple of options. So you guys, you can use StreamYard to stream, but then you can also go in and when you open up StreamYard and you create a broadcast, you're going to select your destinations, Facebook, YouTube, wherever. One of those options is record only. Now, I do not remember. I think that is included in the free account. It may only be, I think it's included in the free account. It may only be included in the paid accounts. But even if it's not included in the free account, you can just go live to a group that's unpublished and do the same thing. You can then record it afterwards. So it's actually one of the really cool things is you can download your video recording, but you can also download the audio only. So if you're wanting to do it for a podcast, you want to do an interview for a podcast, you can 100% use the StreamYard application to do a podcast interview. I think that's a fantastic feature. So 100%. You guys, by the way, if you want to try StreamYard, you can actually use the 14-day professional, you can use a free trial of the professional plan if you sign up through my partner link. So you can go to melaniediane.com/StreamYard, sign up there, and you can actually try all the pro features for free for 14 days. It's then gonna, after that, it's just gonna put you to the free account unless you then decide you wanna upgrade later or whatever, which you don't have to do, but you can test it out, which I love. I'm the kind of person, I wanna try things before I buy. That's just my style. It's the way I do it. And I'm so excited that StreamYard now has this 14-day free trial. They did not have this before. You can enroll in a 14-day free trial through a partner. So that's where you can kind of go check that out and try out the awesome features that we have. So I wanted to make sure I said that before I forgot, because I did earlier until I forgot. Okay, I probably have time for like 2 more questions. This is not really a question, but whatever. Derek McClain, who is the #1 member of your DIY Marketing with Melanie group. Derek is, I believe, still at the top. You can actually check your stats and see who the most engaged person is. Derek is he's obsessed. He loves hanging out. He likes interacting in there. He's probably the #1 guy, but I haven't checked. But I'll tell you what, Derek, that's a great reminder. Today, I'll go ahead and post an update of the leaderboard for the group. I haven't done that for a while. Okay, let me check. Back to it. Yeah, Farmer Brad says, I did a guest show. I was a presenter for Richmond Social Media Group here in Indiana, and that's how he learned about me. And he's been a great group member ever since. Actually, takes advantage of our Free for All Fridays, where he gets to share his really cool. He's got a really neat business, pretty neat stuff, and he will share his YouTube videos in that. So it's pretty fun. All right, so Farmer Brad says, I have a product that takes more time to build. Should I just price it higher so I don't have to make as many to be mindful of my limited time? Okay, this is a twofold situation. There's two reasons when it comes to pricing. You absolutely have to consider how much time, how much investment. Your time is inventory. How much inventory are you willing to contribute to that product? You have to turn a profit on that inventory, right? Which means if you spend all the hours of the day making this thing, and you only sell it for $10, well, what could you have been doing with all that other time? Could you have been producing something or making something that could have been, bringing in more money, right? You have to look at all your activities, including your manufacturing activities of, everything costs money, including your time. So even if something takes you 3 weeks, if you're only going to be able to sell it for $10, is it really worth taking all that 3 weeks if it's taking away from other revenue generating efforts? So Brad, I can't really give you a specific answer, but I will say this. One, before you go pricing it higher, you have to make sure the market is willing to pay for it. Because just because it takes you forever to make something, if nobody's willing to spend more money on it, then you're never going to sell it, right? So you got to do some market research. Like, what are people willing to spend for it? Also, make sure that you're not like 50 times more expensive than your competitors who maybe have more equipment or more, processes that make their manufacturing process more efficient, so that they're able to, you have to be really careful. So, and if you are in that situation where you're like, well, these guys have been doing it for a while, I'm still trying to grow, I don't have that yet, I got to start somewhere. Yeah, you have to start somewhere, but at the same time, you got to know that there might be you might not be able to charge more or make that profit until later. So you got to balance all that stuff out. But at the same time, can you do something else to add value to yours to make it worth more than your competitors? Handmade, custom. Do people care about that? What do people care about? Focus on those features or outcomes that are very specific and differentiate you from your competition or you from the cheaper version or whatever, and make sure you are letting people know that. I'm a course creator. I have a Facebook Live bootcamp or live video bootcamp that I'm getting ready to open the doors to again in the beginning of April. So if any of you are one of those people that you're wondering about that, doors are going to open to that program again in April. One of the premium aspects that I've added to my program is me, my live coaching. I get on live with people. But something else that I've been asked for over and over again is one-on-one coaching. I can't offer one-on-one coaching to everybody for that same price. So if everybody wants one-on-one coaching, all the bootcamp members love the group coaching, but they all want one-on-one coaching. Well, if I'm going to do that, I have to increase my price because I can't invest that much more time without increasing my price. But I already know that they want it, and I already know they're willing to pay for it because they've been begging me for it. However, I also know that not everybody wants or needs that. And so probably what's going to happen is in this next boot camp is I'm going to have the group coaching for the main price where everybody gets group coached together. But if they want VIP, then they can pay a premium price that will get all of this, plus they're going to get one-on-one coaching from me, right? And so you also can tier your stuff based on things. So that's my quick hit pricing answer for your question, right? So that's what I was going to say. Let me see. I probably have time. Let me see here. Okay. I usually would go over, you guys. I'm so sorry. Oh, Billy, what is RTMP server? Stay tuned for that. I actually am creating a video for StreamYard for that. They have a blog post coming out about that too. I'll give you a quick answer in the group though. I hate to cut us. I'm not really cutting us short at 3:03, but at the same time, normally I'd go over. But I did receive a phone call midstream from my kid's school, and I looked at the little voice predictor, and it's not just like them telling me like some automated thing. It's a real voicemail, so I got to check it. But I saw another question I wanted to check here. Da la la la. Okay, AI question. Do you think AI could destroy humanity, and how will it impact jobs? You know what? AI and machine learning. So I actually think AI, artificial intelligence is what that means, and machine learning. I actually think that I don't know that it's ruining like humanity. I think it depends on how you look at it. I think that there are definitely some dangerous elements to all of this technology for sure. But I also think that technology is making things better. It's making things awesome. It's helping make things more efficient. It's making things just simpler and easier. And so I think it's like anything. It could be great. I mean, a cocktail at 5:00, vodka and grapefruit is amazing, but it can also be abused, right? So I mean, it could be a great little celebratory thing that you do, or you can abuse the crap out of it, right? So all this stuff is the same. I don't know that I have any predictions on that. I certainly am not well-versed in all of those things. I do know that it 100% could be terrible, but it also is great in making everything great too. So, okay, Denise, welcome. I'm so glad that you are here. I'm so glad that Denise is able to tune in live every day because she's not boxed in. She owns her own schedule now, so it's super great. Chris says, thanks for another great live stream, Melanie. Made my day to hear from you today. Chris, I was so glad to see you join today. I haven't seen you join live for a while, and I love it. Thank you for doing these. You're welcome. I get so much out of them as well, you guys. I absolutely love going live. I really do. I love it, and sometimes I'm literally like, I just want an excuse to go live. Like, I just want to like have a reason to go live. But yeah, I don't always have one. I mean, I don't want to just do it just to do it, but I absolutely love doing these things. I didn't used to love doing these things. I love doing them more and more. The more that I do them, the more I love doing them. So, and as you layer in new fun things and new skills, you'll get excited about doing more of them as well. So if that is you and you are the kind of person that's wanting to grow into live video this year, I would like to say the boot camp is coming. It's coming. So stay tuned. You guys, if you didn't already check it out, there is a podcast episode on my podcast though. It is about professionalism, so make sure you check that out. That is one of the other places that you guys can tune in. And then, of course, join the Facebook community. I'm always in there. We are here every Tuesday, of course, on all the streams, but I'm also in there a little bit more. You can ask other questions in there throughout the week. I will answer them. Every once in a while, I'll say, ooh, I'm going to answer this on Tuesday. But you pretty much get one-on-one information from me and the other community members if you join the group. So join us over in the DIY Marketing with Melanie Facebook group so that you can learn and grow with other DIY marketers just like you and do great, amazing things this year. So, all right, y'all, I'm going to finish this one up. Go see if my kid's in trouble or whatever. Don't know. Good God. Wish me luck. Holy cow. Let's just hope it's okay. All right, until next time, Tuesday, 2 p.m. I'll see you next week, guys. All right, have a good one. Bye-bye.